Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Chosen, bringing you an audio commentary here of a championship series in MK13 tournament number 23. It's going to be MK anti-cheat here in red playing Zerg versus aqua stfu, which stands for shut the fuck up, and he's playing white Terran. So it's going to be aqua stfu versus MK anti-cheat 13, and this is game 2 of the tournament championship, which is a best of 3 series, like I said before. Alright, let's get to the game. We got anti-cheat putting up his first hatchery here to choke. Very standard, just like the last tournament championship that I commentated on. Zerg throwing up their hatchery right up here at their choke so they can help give themselves time for late game mass and that sort of thing. Aqua here throwing up his 2 barracks. I would assume he's going to be going for the standard Terran build in the situation, which would be 2 barracks into an academy type of 1 or 2 gas. Yeah, he's throwing up his 1 gas. He's going to be going for the academy next. He's going for a 2 barracks academy build. And just to let you guys know a couple things, I have changed my microphone a little bit since my last commentaries, so if it sounds a little bit different or weird, I'll have to adjust things again, but I'm trying to get away from having static in the video. I heard a couple guys telling me that there was some static in the video, and I'm trying to eliminate that as best as I can. And also, these are not replays. I'm commentating on these games live. I'm an observer in this game. You can see here I'm allied to everybody, so I'm doing this live. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know what strategies they're going to go for. I'm just basically giving you my opinion based on what I see at the current time. So yeah, and also some people have been telling me they're having problems finding part 2 or part 3 when the game is longer than 10 minutes. YouTube prohibits you from posting a video that's longer than 10 minutes or a file that's bigger than 100 megabytes. So when the game is longer than 10 minutes, I gotta post a part 2, and if it's longer than 20 minutes, I gotta post a part 3. So I'll try to put part 2 as a video response to this video if there ends up being a part 2. So all you gotta do is scroll down and click on the video response to this video, and you'll see part 2. If I don't end up being able to do that, or I don't end up doing that because I might get lazy, you never know, just click on my username and click on my videos. It should say like MK Chosen 13 videos with, you know, like a 10 in parentheses because I have 10 videos that I've made. Just click on that 10 and it'll show you all my videos from most recent to oldest. And then you just click on, you know, the most recent one would be part 2, obviously, or the last part of this game that I'm doing. But that's how you get around that. And he did get the academy, and he's going for stim. He's going for the stim upgrade for his Marines. I don't think he's going to have any luck getting past the choke point. Sunken colonies absolutely murder Marines. They do 20 damage, and Marines have 40 hit points, so they go down very quickly until they get that 1 armor upgrade. That's why upgrades are so huge for Marines versus Zerg, because Zerg units are smaller and in more bulk. So when the Marines, when you got 80 Marines doing 1 more damage, that means that each round you're doing 80 more damage, and that upgrade only costs 100 minerals and 100 gas. So that's why upgrades are so huge, and the armor upgrade makes them last so much longer, because the less hit points that a unit has, you know, the more weight that upgrade, that 1 armor upgrade carries. Because, you know, a zealot, when they upgrade their armor, a zealot has I believe it's 100 hit points and 60 shield. So when you upgrade a zealot's armor, you get them armor upgrade 1. That armor upgrade 1 only helps on that 100 hit points. Shields take full damage from everything no matter what. So the armor upgrade doesn't even help the shields. But what it does is they take 1 less damage on that 100 hit points that they have. But a zealot has 100 hit points and a marine only has 40, which means marines are in way more mass, and they have a lot less hit points and they're a lot cheaper, so that 1 armor upgrade is more efficient for them. But I'm ranting on here about stupid stuff that I shouldn't be talking about probably, but I just wanted to kind of justify why upgrades are so important for Marines. And he's going for a 2 factory pump here that he's going to be trying to produce tanks to come at this choke point of anti-cheats and he doesn't want a long game. He's going to be going for a push on this choke point real quick, so he doesn't have to deal with a massing late game Zerg. And this engineering bay is for vision, obviously, for the tanks, so they can see, because tanks, I believe, have a vision range of 13, and I think they only shoot 10. No, I mean, I'm sorry, they shoot 13 and they can only see 10. So they shoot, a significant amount farther than they can see, which when you float a building ahead of them, it gives the tanks vision to shoot farther and use their full range potential. So he's going to be using that to go against these sunken colonies here and this choke point of anti-cheats. And we got anti-cheat at 122 supply. I'm sorry, 122 APM and 56 supply, and we got Aqua here at 136 APM and 54 supply, and that's 6 minutes and 15 seconds into the game. Siege mode is researching here from this bottom factory, and siege mode is going to be done at about 7 minutes into the game, and he should have 2 or 3 tanks by the time siege mode gets done. So he's going to have 2 tanks by the time siege mode is done, and he's going to start putting pressure on this choke point very soon here. Honestly, I think anti-cheat is in an okay position though, because he's already got his lair up, which is pretty early for a lair. That lair has been done since about 6 minutes, which means he started it up about 4.5 minutes. So he's got the hide withstand here, researching speed, and he's already pumping Zerglings. He actually has done a pretty good job of getting his economy up and running and getting the right amount of defense to kind of give himself enough money to make drones, to stay at a nice good pump and get his economy going. He's bringing out Zerglings to take this tank out, and this is huge. Aqua letting his micro down a little bit. He should have had Marines or a bunker or something to kind of defend that. That's really going to slow down his tank push, and he can't afford to be wasting 30 seconds here and 30 seconds there on letting this choke point survive, because every 30 seconds that passes, that's just a huger mass and a crazier situation that Aqua's going to be getting himself into. You don't want to let these Zerg have time to mass and get crazy. You want to be irradiating their minerals, or tank dropping, or getting a fire bat into their drone line, or making sure that your tank push is doing a lot of damage and going fast. He's coming up here and he's going to be building a bunch of starports with all these SCVs. He's going to throw up 5 starports right here. And that's going to be for a Wraith pump, just to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard by any sort of, mutila's harass on his tanks or his main, and to make sure he can cope with Guardians, because, you can be sure as hell that Zerg is going to go Guardians. They're going to get air versus the Terran when they're tank pushing them. It's very textbook, it's very standard, and that's why he's building 5 stargates, or starports, sorry, so he can get ready to cope with that. Only 4. He must not have had enough gas or something to make that 5th one when he was trying to. But anyway, staying at a 2 factory pump here in the middle, and we've got Aqua at 86 supply and anti-cheat at 107 supply, which is bad. You want to be ahead of the Zerg in supply, because once you get behind and they start massing even more on you, it's going to be harder to stop them. But he has done a good job of taking that choke point down, and that's going to make this match a lot easier for Aqua, having that choke point down. And the fact that anti-cheat wasn't in a corner made his life a lot easier, because when the Zerg are in a corner, it's a lot harder to fit tanks in that ramp and push on that choke point. It's a lot harder when it's condensed into the corner. He's got a couple Zerglings burrowed here. He's got about a group of 10 Zerglings burrowed here that he's going to try to pop up and take out a tank or 2 when they start to tank push. And you see him putting units down here at the bottom of his base. He's probably going to put a couple up here in the top of his base too. And that's so when the Terran starts to tank push you and they start to come in here with their infantry and their tanks, they get up here in the middle by this engineering bay, and then you can flood them with your speed upgraded Zerglings and your upgraded hide to us from both sides. And he's going to be trying to get air at the same time. He's got his Spire up already, his Queen's Nest, so he's researching his hive, and his hive has just popped at 9 minutes and 30 seconds, which is pretty early for a hive. He's doing a good job on his tech, and honestly he's doing a good job massing too. He's at 160 supply, and he choked, which slows you down about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, somewhere in there, depending on how much defense you put up there. But he didn't put a whole lot of defense up at his choke point, so it probably only slowed his mass down a little bit over a minute. So he's honestly doing a pretty good job massing, and he's going to be using these mutalisks to turn into Guardians. He needs to be putting these Zerglings down at the bottom of his base, or get some units up here at the top of his base so he can surround this Terran force when it comes into his base. And he's not going for a battlecruiser build. He's researching Radiate right now. His Radiate will be done about 11 minutes into the game, and he have some science vessels making somewhere here. He's not producing any science vessels yet. He's just kind of satisfied with getting his wraiths up to make sure that he can cope with some sort of a air build, and he's just basically doing everything standard. Got a lot of barracks here, so he can pump Marines. His Marines are 1-1 upgraded, and pushing out. Anti-cheat's pushing out of his base right